Hey guys, so I know I just dropped a video a few days ago, but a lot of models have come out since then, so I decided to just make another quick video here. And yeah, we have GPT 5.5, we have DeepSeek v4, and by the way, we also have a flash version of DeepSeek v4, which we'll take a look at in a moment. And yeah, there's also this new app thing that I found here called Bud, which is similar to something like OpenClaw, but it runs in your browser. You don't need to install anything on your PC or anything like that. But yeah, let's take a look at GPT 5.5 here. So from the benchmark scores that they've put on their website here at OpenAI, uh, on Terminal Bench, it's at 82.7%, which is way above Claude 4.7, which is only at 69.4%. Now, this is probably benchmarked here, but yeah, they're basically claiming it scored 20% higher than Claude Opus 4.7, which, if it's true, is a huge jump. And yeah, it's like quite a big jump between previous generation models here. So we can see GPT 5.4 is only at 75%, and then we go up to 82% here. I'm not really going to look at every single benchmark score. We can just basically tell the difference by looking at one. And then we also have DeepSeek v4 out here, which is not really that impressive in my opinion. In some of these scores, it scores higher than Claude 4.6, which is the previous model. 4.7 is the latest model. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, but not that great. But what I do want to look at here is the Flash version of it. Because even though these scores are not that good and don't really impress me, we have the Flash version here, which is super low cost. And if it has even close to these specs, it would be really good at running agentic things like OpenClaw or whatever agents you run on your PC. So the cost here is only $0.14 per million tokens, so 14 cents per million tokens input, and then only 28 cents per million tokens output, which is super low, basically cheaper than any of the Chinese models that are out right now. And yeah, I'm definitely going to give this a go. I'm going to run it in OpenClaw and see what it's about and how well it does. But yeah, if we just click on it and hit compare right here, we can't really compare it to any model based on the artificial analysis scores that we usually look at here because they haven't run the benchmarks yet. But yeah, the price is super cheap for input and output tokens. It seems to be a pretty big model. I think it was 300 billion parameters, if I'm not mistaken, or 284 billion parameters. And yeah, a context length of 1 million is huge, especially for this price of just 14 cents and 28 cents per million tokens. The speed is pretty good at 64 tokens per second. And yeah, that's basically all we have to look at right now. I'm definitely going to try out this model in something like OpenClaw later. But yeah, there's one more thing I have to show you in this video, which I just found on Twitter here, or X, or whatever we're calling this now. But yeah, it's called Bud, and basically it's like OpenClaw, but it's a browser tool. So basically go to bud.app, which is the link here. And I actually signed up for this because they gave me free credits. But basically they give you a number to text here, which comes by default. Like, I didn't have to set any of this up. I just basically gave this agent a name, and they give you a number to text here. There's a Telegram that's already set up for you. You don't need to set up any bots or anything yourself. And yeah, I'm not really going to blur this because I'm just working with the free credits that they gave me, and I'm probably not going to use this afterwards. So yeah, it's basically an agent like OpenClaw, and it has its own file explorer and computer here, and also a browser. So it can browse around, save files, create files, write code for you, do whatever you need. It also works similar to OpenClaw in the way that you can schedule tasks here. So you can say, like, every 5 hours I need a specific task done. And here it has some skills, but there's a few things that I wanted to show you in the skills menu here. So OpenClaw has a lot of skills, but Bud here seems to have a lot of skills that are specifically targeted towards social media and marketing. So if we look here just on the first skill that opened, this is Ahrefs. which, if you don't know what Ahrefs is, it's a website or platform that you use when you're building a website or something to get the best SEO and keywords and stuff like that. So yeah, this is really useful for a skill that your agent could have if you're making it build a website or something and you need it to rank on Google. And then all the way down here at the bottom, I'm not sure if I'm going to find it now, but it does have here, it has a LinkedIn skill. So basically, it can connect to LinkedIn and do engagements for you. It can look at your notifications, write posts, comment on stuff, engage with people, which is something I've actually been doing kind of manually here. So I have this folder called skills here where I have a LinkedIn skill and an engagement skill. And I basically open my well, it's called open code. It's similar to Claude Code. Basically, it's meant for coding, but you can really give it MCP tools to get it to do whatever you want it to do. And I basically give it access to this browser right here. And then I tell it to basically read these two skill files and go onto LinkedIn and do the engagement for me. But I guess if you're using this tool called Bud, you can get it to do that automatically, and you can probably set it up to do it at a certain time every day where you don't even have to check it yourself. And then another one of the good skills here is the Gumroad skill. Now, obviously, this can't manage your shop for you, but if you are someone who sells on Gumroad, this is pretty good for something like tracking sales or improving your product listings. And definitely, if you combine this Gumroad skill with the Ahrefs skill that we saw at the top, you could get some better keywords in your titles and product descriptions. And yeah, I'm sure there's a way to get images in here to connect something like Nano Banana 2. And if you're using something like Nano Banana 2 with Ahrefs to run a store like Gumroad or Shopify or one of those stores, you're probably going to do pretty well in SEO and stuff. And you're going to start ranking on Google. But yeah, those are the two skills I found that may be really useful to me. And let's look at one more AI here. So we're going to look at Meshy, which is something that's used to create 3D models from images. And they're actually having a sale right now because it's their anniversary. I think it's 3 years since their launch. But yeah, let's look at one of these tools. So we have image to 3D, text to 3D, and then these are just text to image and image to video, which we have seen on other platforms before. So let's click on image to 3D here, and let's just grab an image quickly here. So I'm going to say a robot character holding a cool looking item. Okay, so we got our image here. I used Nano Banana 2. If you're wondering what platform this is, it's Meshy, which I use for all of my image and video generations. And now let's head back to Meshy here. So basically all we need to do is drag and drop our image into the box right here and click on generate. So I'm just going to do that. And yeah, this is Meshy 6, by the way. It's the model that just came out recently. And I'm going to hit generate here. And while this is generating, I'll just take a look at the model I did a couple of days ago when I just signed up for this. So this is kind of a water monster character. I didn't actually generate this image through something like Nano Banana or something. It's just one of the template images they give you so they can walk you through like the tutorial of how to use all of these tools. But yeah, basically what happened is I generated this 3D model, and Meshy also allows you to animate models. So basically you first need to rig the model by basically selecting which is the hands, the legs, and so on. But when I tried to rig this model, well, it doesn't really have legs right here. So it wouldn't let me automatically rig this model, which is the tool that we use to rig stuff in Meshy. And yeah, basically I couldn't get this to animate. Maybe there's something I'm missing, or there's some settings here that will allow me to do that. But yeah, I basically couldn't figure that out. And yeah, we're at about 70% here generating the robot. So I'll be back in a few minutes once this is done. Okay, so we have our model here. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect. Again, it's kind of like the 3D model generator we looked at last time. So we do have the error here with the fingers. There's only 3 fingers on this hand and then 4 on this hand. And the object he's holding is kind of weirdly shaped. Doesn't look symmetrical, which is how it looks in the image here. But yeah, also there's no texture on this. If you want the texture, you're gonna have to hit texture down here. But I'm just going to use my free retry to see if we get something better than this first. So yeah, you do get free retries whenever you generate something, which is pretty cool. You don't have to pay if the model is wrong. You can just regenerate it. Okay, and this is what we got this time. I don't think it's that much better. It may be worse. The fingers, we have 4 fingers here. Okay, so it did kind of fix the fingers a bit. Actually, there's 5 fingers here, so 6 in total with the thumb, so that's wrong. And it also did bring this object in here. Now we could probably get this to generate a bit better if we told our image model here to create just the character and no background, no objects or anything like that. But I wanted to give this a difficult test just to see where we are right now with 3D model generators. And yeah, if we wanted to add a texture, we can just click on this down here and we just click texture here, which it will grab from the image that we put. And yeah, basically we need to wait for this to load again. But if we give it a simple model or simple image like this one right here, where it has no background and just the character, no objects, it does pretty well. If you look at the fingers here, it's pretty even on both sides, no mistakes. The armor and stuff doesn't have mistakes on it either. So yeah, it's pretty good. Again, I just wanted to test how good it was with a complex image like this robot here. Okay, so with the texture on it, this actually becomes a pretty good model because we can't notice the tiny mistakes like we see in the object here, or which we could see before, but now we can't see anymore. And we can't really see any mistakes in the fingers either. You can kind of see that there's extra fingers on this hand, but you wouldn't notice it unless you knew that you were looking for that. If you saw this model at a distance or something, you definitely won't notice that. And yeah, if we generated our image with no background and no objects, just the character alone, and we put a texture on top of it, this would probably be a really, really good model. But yeah, it's still not at the level yet where you would use one of these 3D model generators and then try to sell this. I definitely wouldn't sell this to a customer. Maybe you could use this in a personal project. I definitely would use this in a personal project, and I don't think anyone would notice it was AI generated. But yeah, Meshy also does offer you the option to basically remesh. So you can see here that this has a lot of vertices. If we remesh, we can get this down to a low number. And then Meshy does also offer you the ability to animate your 3D model on here. So definitely a good platform, especially if you're making your own game or something like that that requires 3D models. If you're planning to sell the 3D models that you make, I don't recommend using any of the 3D model generators right now. We're not quite there yet. But yeah, this has been the latest AI tools that came out recently. Just to recap, we looked at bud.app here, which is kind of like OpenClaw, but it runs completely in the browser. And then we also looked at the new DeepSeek V4, which just came out, and the Flash version here, which is super cheap. And then we also looked at GPT 5.5, which is the latest model by OpenAI. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for watching! Don't forget to subscribe for more, and also click like and leave a comment and do all those things. Okay, bye!